Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy, Sports and Fitness Rants? I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today. As usual, you guys know the deal on this channel. It's all about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting history. And in this video, man, I want to talk about the Rod Strickland versus Michael Jordan, the playoff series, 1997 first round matchup between the Chicago Bulls and the Washington Bullets. I was watching that series the other day, and you guys saw I posted that screenshot of the game one matchup between Rod Strickland and Michael Jordan, guys. And I want to talk about in this video, man, what I noticed watching Michael Jordan versus Rod Strickland. And I wanted to shout out Rod Strickland a little bit in this video. It doesn't get mentioned much these days. And, these are some of the guys that we've talked about, from the 90s era of NBA that have been forgotten, that had skills, guys that could dribble the basketball, that were legit point guards, man. And these are some of the quote-unquote other guys that, like I said, get, forgotten, in the 90s because of all the great players. So we want to talk about the Michael Jordan versus Rod Strickland, like I said in this video, guys. And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across the states, man, that's been supporting my channel. Once again, guys, I am truly, truly humbled by all the support, man. It really means a lot, guys. Shout out to everybody in the membership, man. You guys emailing me, you sending me your messages. Thank you, guys. It means a lot, man. So much respect to all the true basketball fans that are standing up, man. Real recognize real, man. We must continue to stand up. So thank you very much. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, man, I wanted to do a brief video on Rod Strickland versus Michael Jordan, guys, in the 1997 Eastern Conference first round, the Chicago Bulls versus the Washington Bullets. Now, I told you guys, I posted that screenshot the other day, and I had been watching some of the old Chicago Bulls playoff games. And I've told you guys, I'm not doing this for any, educational purposes or for research purposes or anything like that. It's for strictly entertainment value, guys, for entertainment purposes, because that's the golden era of NBA. And as I've told you guys before on this channel, I literally genuinely enjoy watching Michael Jordan play basketball. Once again, his game is beautiful to watch. The way that he played the game, like I said, the effort he gave, the competitive fire he played with. I love watching Michael Jordan even to this day. I don't care how grainy the video is. I don't give a damn how out of focus the video seems. I will still watch it because, once again, it's the golden era of NBA, and I respect and I genuinely enjoy watching Michael Jordan play. And it's not just Michael Jordan. Like I said, when you turn the TV on, you're going to see other players playing, other guys. And in this instance, we're talking about Rod Strickland. Now, one of the things that we must understand off the jump, and I talked to you guys about the competition, and people try to knock Michael Jordan's competition these days, and they'll use words like plumbers and taxi cab drivers and unathletic white guys, all these kinds of things. Once again, all they're doing is trying to take away from Michael Jordan's greatness by diminishing the era he played in, his contemporaries. But when we think about someone like Rod Strickland, guys, he would be someone that's forgotten, someone that doesn't get talked about, that a lot of these guys that, hate on the 90s, they don't know about Rod Strickland. And Rod Strickland is one of these point guards from the 90s era of NBA that in today's league, he would be sensational with the amount of space that he would have, he'd be allowed to operate with, the ball handling ability of someone like Rod Strickland, guys. He would be amazing in this era because of the freedom of movement and the lack of physicality in the league, right? The hand checking, the forearms, all of this stuff, the smaller, the tighter lanes, right? There's not as much openness. It's not as spread out as it is now. So someone like Rod Strickland, he would be awesome in today's league because of his ability to dribble the basketball and his overall game, the floater he had in the mid-range, the post-up ability of a Rod Strickland. Excuse me, guys, hold on. Forgive me, guys, sorry. So when I'm watching this, and we're talking about Rod Strickland versus Michael Jordan, that's right, guys. It was Rod Strickland versus Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan took the challenge of guarding a point guard, someone like Rod Strickland, who's very skilled and very tough, right? He's a true competitor, Rod Strickland. And that's one of the things I noticed immediately. was Michael Jordan brings out the best in his opponents. He brings out the best in these guys. And that's why I've told you, Michael Jordan was never concerned with the name on the back of the jersey. He didn't give a damn what it said back there. If it was Strickland or Dumars or Ainge, Hornacek, Drexler, Miller, Richmond, Wilkins, it didn't matter what it said. Starks, it didn't matter what the name on the back of the jersey said. It was about the name on the front. It was about the team. It was about the competition. It was about bringing it every single night. And Rod Strickland brought it to Michael Jordan during that playoff series. And Michael Jordan brought it to Rod Strickland. They brought it to each other. There was competitiveness there. And Michael Jordan bringing out the best in a Rod Strickland. So when I post that screenshot of game one, and you see Rod Strickland had 19 points or whatever he had. I believe it was 8 of 16 from the field, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. Played 44 minutes. And then you see Michael Jordan, 29 points, I believe 8 rebounds, 8 assists, a couple of steals. And they were directly matched up against each other. Now, Rod Strickland wasn't guarding Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan was guarding Rod Strickland on the defensive end. And I believe Rod Strickland's about 6'3", about 180 pounds. Michael Jordan about 6'5", 6'6", about 200 pounds. But Michael Jordan being in a much more advanced age than a Rod Strickland at that time. In 1997, in that first round matchup, Michael Jordan, I believe, was about 34 years old. I want to say Strickland was 29, maybe a little bit older than that, maybe 28, somewhere around there. I don't know, somewhere around there. But he was younger than Michael Jordan. So when we think about Michael Jordan taking on that challenge, going against Rod Strickland, man, this is what I'm always alluding to you guys about with Michael Jordan. And they try to say, oh, Michael Jordan didn't guard the other team's best player. Or Michael Jordan didn't do this. Michael Jordan didn't do that. Michael Jordan took on a lot of challenges, guys. He guarded guys like Gary Payton. He guarded guys like Rod Strickland. He guarded guys like Reggie Miller. He took on the challenge, guys. It didn't matter who he was guarding. Michael Jordan took the challenge. And in that 1997 first round, he took the challenge of guarding Rod Strickland, a shorter, quicker guy at that point in time of their careers. And once again, Rod Strickland, people might think, oh, who's Rod Strickland? Rod Strickland is that dude, man. He had the skills. He was nice. When we talk about the 90s era players, the 90s point guards, and we talk about New York City point guards, we talk about guys like Mark Jackson, who I believe came in 1988 to the New York Knicks, was Rookie of the Year. He was the last Knicks player to win Rookie of the Year, was Mark Jackson. That was a long time ago, 1988, the same year Scottie Pippen came into the league. Mark Jackson won Rookie of the Year. The very next season, they drafted Rod Strickland to the New York Knicks. So you had two playground New York City legends on the Knicks, Mark Jackson from New York City and Rod Strickland from New York City. But then you also had, I believe a year later, you had Kenny Anderson coming to the NBA. You guys remember Kenny Anderson? Played on those New Jersey Nets teams with Derek Coleman and Kendall Gill. You had Kenny Anderson, another New York City legend, right, with the ball handling ability. This is what you had in the 90s out of the point guard position. So when I told you guys on this channel, about the point guard play, and I talked to you about guys like Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, John Stockton, Gary Payton, Kevin Johnson, Mark Price, Terry Porter. These are the next guys. The Rod Stricklands, the Mark Jacksons, right? The Kenny Andersons. That's the next tier of point guards after those top-notch guys, those top 6, 7 guys in the league. You have these guys right after the Jason Kidds. You have someone like a Rod Strickland, a Terry Porter, a Kenny Anderson, a Mark Jackson. And when you watch the matchup, the dynamic between a Rod Strickland and he's going against Michael Jordan, and like I said, you see Rod Strickland, right, raise up to that level of competition. He raised up to Michael Jordan's competition. He didn't shrink, he didn't fold, he didn't run away or hide from the challenge. Rod Strickland rose to the challenge. And this is what would often happen for a Michael Jordan, right? Other players that he went against, they would bring it. They would bring their A game. They would come and rise up to the challenge. You think about someone like a John Starks, who was bagging groceries, and then he was guarding Michael Jordan in an Eastern Conference Finals a couple of years later. This is what John Starks, this is the evolution, the development of John Starks. So when he comes to the New York Knicks in 1992, he's not the main defender against Michael Jordan in that 7-game series. It was Gerald Wilkins. But then the next year, they would get rid of Gerald Wilkins, right? And then John Starks would take over as the main defender against Michael Jordan. That's the development of a John Starks, the hustle of a John Starks. Remember, John Starks watched video, studied film on Michael Jordan to better guard him. This is what these guys did. This is why Michael Jordan didn't take these guys for granted. He didn't take them lightly because they weren't taking Michael Jordan lightly. And Rod Strickland was out there going at Michael Jordan, not backing down from Michael Jordan's defense. So when you see people or you hear people say, oh, Michael Jordan wasn't that great on defense, he got cooked by this guy, or I saw him get cooked by that guy. Absolutely, every all-time great defensive player has been, quote-unquote, cooked from time to time, has been beaten, has got points scored against them. You're not a great defender because you shut guys down or you hold them to 0 points every game. You're a great defensive player because you earn the reputation by giving consistent effort and being great on defense because of the effort, the athleticism, and your defensive skills. That's why you become a great defender, not just because you're out there going through the motions. You're out there giving the effort. This is why these guys are respected and recognized as great defensive players. So, Michael Jordan being a great defender and Rod Strickland knowing this, right? Michael Jordan's reputation preceding him, Rod Strickland knew he had to bring his game. And he took on the challenge. You want to go against Michael Jordan. You want to test yourself. And when I watched Rod Strickland play in that series, I saw a grown man, a true professional, not give a damn who was guarding him and going at Michael Jordan. Right? And once again, when we think about the overall games of a lot of these guys, and I'm talking about Rod Strickland, I'm talking about a Mark Jackson, and I'm talking about some of these other point guards, a Gary Payton, right? A Magic Johnson. You think about some of these guys, a Jason Kidd, they have post-up games. These point guards can post you up. They can turn their back on you and post you up. It don't matter the size. And Rod Strickland used his back against Michael Jordan. Even though he was shorter and he was a little bit weight a little bit less, he would use his back, his post-up game, his skills against Michael Jordan, who's a very stout defender down the post. Rod Strickland turned his back on Jordan and was able to be effective against Michael Jordan. This is the skills. And once again, this is some of the players that people don't mention. Someone like Rod Strickland has been criminally underrated and forgotten because people don't talk about him or they don't think about these guys. They don't know these guys. And that's why it's important that we're here to set the record straight and once again, put some respect on these guys. So when we think about that 1997 matchup, and yes, the Bulls won 3-0, but that was a very scrappy Washington Bulls team led by Rod Strickland and Chris Webber, Juwan Howard, Calbert Chaney. This team was very good, man. They were very aggressive. They did not back down to the Bulls. They were young. They were hungry. And like I said, man, they played with a lot of energy if you watch those games. And you guys remember in game 2, Michael Jordan dropped 55 points on those guys. And I remember Chris Webber telling that story about how they pulled up in the bus to the United Center. And Michael Jordan was sitting there smoking a cigar, talking about, what he's going to do to them. This is what Michael Jordan did, the intimidation of Michael Jordan, the fear factor that he put out there. But Rod Strickland was not worried about that. He was a true competitor. He went out there and he competed against Michael Jordan. Like I said, man, he earned the respect of a Michael Jordan, right? And of his contemporaries, Rod Strickland, of the fans, people like us. We respect Rod Strickland's game and what he brought to the table. And like I said, watching that series, 1997, Washington Bulls versus Chicago Bulls, that was a very interesting series. Chris Webber and Dennis Rodman did not like each other. Chris Webber did not like Dennis Rodman. They had a lot of heated back and forth moments during that series. And like I said, man, Rod Strickland took on the challenge of Michael Jordan going out there and guarding Rod Strickland, man. Okay, and once again, Rod Strickland wasn't guarding Michael Jordan. That was Calbert Chaney who took on that assignment. So once again, Michael Jordan going out there and playing defense against someone who can play defense against him. And then people try to knock Michael Jordan. Oh, man, I saw Mike Jordan getting abused by Rod Strickland. I saw Mike Jordan getting abused by Rex Chapman or getting abused by that guy. Yeah, it happens every once in a while. The sun will shine every once in a while. Michael Jordan's not going to win every battle. He's not going to shut down every player. But once again, he's going to give the effort. He's going to make Rod Strickland earn it. And Rod Strickland went out there and he earned it. He bowed against Michael Jordan, man. And I got a lot of respect for Rod Strickland, man. His overall game, like I said, his approach to Michael Jordan guarding him, man. These are things that Michael Jordan would do. People think that Michael Jordan was out there lollygagging, just guarding shooting guards. Michael Jordan guarded point guards many, many times, guys. I saw Michael Jordan guarding David Stoudemire, a Mighty Mouse, in like 1998 when he first came in the league. I saw Michael Jordan guarding him. I saw Michael Jordan guarding Stephon Marbury. So when we think about these kinds of things, man, this is what we're alluding to, guys. All right, Michael Jordan taking on the defensive challenges, whatever the team needed. And that's why I talk about the 1996 NBA Finals. Michael Jordan took on the challenge of guarding Gary Payton when Ron Harper went down. And many of these guys, they're not guarding Michael Jordan on the other end. So yes, Rod Strickland might have been giving the business to Michael Jordan every once in a while and making a nice move. Rod Strickland got game, right? That doesn't take away from Michael Jordan. That goes to Rod Strickland. That goes to him. That goes to credit on Rod Strickland. That goes to his greatness. That doesn't take away from Michael Jordan because Rod Strickland was scoring some points, or this guy might have scored against Michael Jordan, or that guy scored against Michael Jordan. That doesn't take away from Michael Jordan. That goes to that player. And what they did, they took on that challenge. And Rod Strickland took on that challenge. His overall game, his ability to use the post-up game, to turn his back to the basket, a lost art in today's NBA. A lot of these guys today, they can't turn their back to the basket. And they can only play the game when they're allowed to face up and dribble up, facing a player. And the only way they're allowed to do that today is because of the freedom of the movement. They wouldn't be able to do that back in the 80s and the 90s. So shout out to Michael Jordan for taking on the challenge of going against a Rod Strickland, a quick guard with handling ability, who could dribble the rock. Man, Rod Strickland had handle. When they talk about these guys today versus the guys in the past and how they couldn't dribble or they had no skills, Rod Strickland had skills. Rod Strickland could dribble the basketball. He had a mid-range game. He had a nice little floater. He had swag, Rod Strickland. Swag. True swag. A New York City swag. He played with that confidence and that swag. And that helped him to be effective. His dribbling style, his game. Once again, shout out to Rod Strickland, man. Shout out to Michael Jordan. Shout out to the 90s era of NBA, man. The golden era. The Chicago Bulls versus the Washington Bullets, the up-and-coming team. And the Bulls handling them, stepping up and raising up to that challenge. And someone like a Rod Strickland going at Michael Jordan, man. Not backing down from the challenge, man. From a Michael Jordan, man. So when people talk about, sometimes you'll hear these LeBron James idiots talk about, was nobody afraid of Michael Jordan? You guys talk about people afraid of Michael Jordan, but this guy was in Michael Jordan's face. This guy did that to Michael Jordan. This guy did that. People are mistaking what we mean by fear of Michael Jordan. The fear that people had, players, coaches had, was Michael Jordan doing something at the end of a game. It wasn't Michael Jordan physically beating up somebody or Michael Jordan taking a hard foul on someone. That's not the fear. They're gonna back down. They were afraid of Michael Jordan at the end of the game. What he was gonna do to win the game. That's what they feared. They feared if you trash talk Michael Jordan or if you try to get in his face, you take a hard foul on him. They feared him taking it personal because of what he's going to do in the game. This is what Michael Jordan did. That's the fear he instilled. That's the reputation that he built, that he earned. But at the same time, the guys that he went against were true competitors. They were grown men too. They had pride. And they were going to give the effort, and they were going to go toe-to-toe, just like Rod Strickland did in 1997. So much respect to those guys for being true competitors. The golden era of NBA. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.